4 figures sit where the sea and the sand converge. The wavelets whisper as they slide across the sand. This is the lap of the land, the ebb of ocean flow. The figures sit soaking themselves in the seascape. One voice on the breeze begins to speak. It's young, inquiring, eager to have answers. "What's out there, Grandpapa?" He points. "Out there, where the water ends and the sky begins." A second voice adds its own inquiry. She asks, "The water? When I scoop some up in my hand, it has no color. But out there," she points beyond the waves, "it's as blue as the morning sky. And how can fish breathe underwater, but I can't? Tell us, we need to know." Older voices begin to answer, but these aren't the answers the young ones want. Their answers pose more questions, more uncertainty. The figures stand still and silent on rocks overlooking the swirling sea. The old man speaks. He says, "Out here, it's easy to feel insignificant, surrounded by nature, and at the same time, utterly alive and energized. What makes the waves, small one day, fierce and ferocious the next? How do boats float? How do birds fly? How do flowers know when it's springtime, when to blossom and when to go to seed? There is no end to what we can work out by reason, by measurement, and mathematical analysis. We search the horizon for clues. What we can see looking north or south, east or west, is always fathomable. These are the how, what, when, wheres, answerable questions. They're within our realm and within our reach of understanding. "What do you mean, Grandpapa? What do you mean, Grandmama?" The older voices answer, "Come with us." Up here in the mountains, our perspective is altered. Up here, during daylight, our eyes and our thoughts are drawn down to the views spread out before us. We see all the details, but when shadows spread and the light begins to fade, we're persuaded to slowly, surely lift our gaze. As darkness draws in, a different light takes over. This is a subtle light from suns so far away that it has no heat, and all that remains is a message. We don't understand. Looking forward, we can plot the wheres and the whats, but we have to look up for the whys. Why am I here? Why was I born here? Why do I look the way I do? Why am I good at some things but not at others? And why should I get out of bed this morning? All those imponderable questions why. Consider this. 3 millennia ago, a king called David wrote about the wisdom and knowledge sent out eternally by the stars into all the universe. It's sent to guide those who search for answers to the harder questions. King David wrote, "The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of his hands. Day after day they pour forth speech. Night after night they reveal knowledge. They have no speech, they use no words, no sound is heard from them. Yet their voice goes out to all the earth, their words to the ends of the world." Is this true, Grandpapa? Is it true? Truth is fragile. It's framed by what you are prepared to believe. 1,000 years later, wise men followed the light of a certain star to bring gifts to a newborn child, an ancestor of that very same David. They'd read a message sent out 1 billion years before. a cipher that traveled at the speed of light to tell anyone who cared to look about this event that changed our world. Remember, as you search for twinkling answers to your questions, that these messages began their journey 1,000,000,000 billion lifetimes before you were born. The universal wisdom knew and knows your pathway forward and your purpose. It's up to you to find out what it is. Wisdom, after all, is acquired, not so much from books, but passed on over the passage of time from one with wisdom to one who seeks it and is humble enough to accept it. And it will take all the wisdom you can accumulate to find your answer to the question, why?